What's up, guys? My name is Jonah, and I've been asked by a lot of people to do a video on the car that I've been building over the years. So here it is. This is my 1994 Subaru Legacy with a 4-liter Lexus V8. Well, now that you've seen the car, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a 01 journeyman electrician. I'm from Washington State, and I also race pro motocross. So that doesn't leave a lot of room for making videos about cars that I've been building for 5 years. With that being said, I'll just jump straight into it, show you exactly what the setup is, and then if you want the nitty-gritty, you can stick around until the end. So I bought this car when I was 16 and did the whole Subaru engine thing. Eventually got to the point where I wanted to learn fabrication, and well, that's what led us here. I jumped straight into it. I didn't go to school or anything for it, and well, what you see is the outcome. In the front, we've got a turbo Lexus V8, otherwise known as the 1UZ. This just kind of fell into my lap at a good price, and essentially couldn't really turn it down. It is mated up to a KA24, I believe is the 240 transmission. It's a 5-speed. The Collins adapter plate there also allows for Nissan 350Z CD009, which would be the route in the future. From there, it'll be custom driveline to the back, which is right now a Infinity Q45 rear differential. Subframe here is tubular custom as well. And the goal in the future would be to go away from this diff and get something more readily available like the 350Z. That would cause me to have to change the knuckle setup that I've done in the rear. I bought from a friend. They are designed for these axles. One of the only axle Nissan makes that is a 32 spline axle. And down the road, we'll go away from that. Front suspension wise, strut towers have been pushed 4 inches out. Custom control arms. I'm running Mazda RX-7 front knuckles. And this is a bracket to run Evo X rear rotors on the front of this, which would be an oversized rotor, because in 1987, well, they didn't really need a lot of stopping power. So the headers themselves are actually off of a newer Toyota Tundra, which still shares the same flange as the 1990 LS400. So that's cool. Essentially chopped them, put a V-band on it, ran them over here. The turbo is T4 divided, so 2 wastegates, and dump them out the side. So if we go inside the car, you're gonna see a lot of tubes. I'll be honest with you, when I started making a roll cage, I had no clue what I was doing, absolutely none. I had been welding for a little while because I got the engine and the differential mounted first, so I was getting the concept of welding down. But the fabrication part and having the possibility to waste a lot of money on tube was pretty scary, so it took me a while. But we're here, I'm happy with it, and I'm happy with the outcome. The dash is actually out of a 03 WRX, and as you can see, I've got some stuff electrically going on here. Could not figure out how to get the speedo to work with this transmission, so we had to go digital dash. It's actually a $59 Amazon tablet. And then in the middle, those are going to be the lighting controls, because I don't have to do a whole lot. The ECU really controls the fuel and most things for me. Reservoirs over here, and down below we have the electrical panel. Bottom left, that's all the lighting control. The top left is the ECU. You can see some breakers in there, the main relay on the bottom right, and then just some regular old fuses in the middle. So over here, we've got some more gauges, fuel, voltage, and kept the adjustable mirrors, because why not? Also have a heater core in this car, and that's what this knob is for. Down below, we've got the Willwood pedals set up. Haven't started the brakes yet, so that'll be a future project for sure. And then right above it is a electric power steering column out of a 2006 Toyota Prius. So as you can tell, this car is certainly pieced together from a lot of different manufacturers. So if I start in the engine bay, probably my favorite thing is this little catch can I made. I'm pretty proud of it. It's all baffled. You can put a fine filter in it. And then right next door, got some Bosch Audi style coils. Converts this engine from distributor to coil on plug. And then we're running a LS style throttle body. And this upper intake manifold was actually the first thing I ever welded that was aluminum. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think it'll work. You'll probably see in the future if this thing explodes, I'll definitely post about it. Just forgot the little catch can drain. Yeah. Another cool little detail is this little oil filter plate. Allows you to relocate your oil filter and also have a feed for your turbo and or any other sensors you want. And that just allowed me to move the oil filter off to this side, put it in a safe place, and have plenty of room because there was not a lot of room before. Down below, we've got the alternator. It's twisted and relocated, give myself some room for the Terpski. And then again, custom control arms. They're actually half custom. The ends are still stock location. I just didn't want to have to try to replicate something like that as far as making a jig. And then as you come to the end, you've got 5/8 Heim. Not sure exactly what size Heim, but that should allow some adjustability and some fine tuning. Subframe itself is again a hybrid, leaving the stock mounts for the steering rack. Just something I didn't want to have to replicate. Still need to hook up that oil drain, and got the downpipe spout. Again, some custom cross members here for the transmission. You can see those little stubs sticking out of the side of the body. Those are actually the cage, and they tie into that transmission brace, giving some more rigidity to the chassis. Now, I've scraped the seam sealer and reprimed the entire underneath of the car, which was a process I will not do again. You can see the mustache bar holds the front of the diff, and then again, tubular rear subframe. Right now, I only have this one Heim on here, and that's merely just because when I get this thing driving, I want to be able to get it close so that I can drive semi-straight. In the future, I'll get fully adjustable arms, and that'll solve that issue. Lots of small brackets for the battery, the fuel tank, the fuel filter and pump in the back here. Eventually, I'll hope to do a diffuser with a jack mount for the rear bumper bar. And again, another little detail I thought was pretty cool is this tablet. See if I can get it to turn on. But it is exactly what I said it was. It is a $59 Amazon tablet. Now, you can buy a crazy expensive dash, but the ECU I'm running is pretty cool because you can actually hook up Bluetooth to whatever device you want. And if you can download a dash display on that device, well, you can have a digital dash. So as it starts up here, you can literally tell that it is just a straight up regular Amazon tablet. And we were able to get Shadow Dash MS installed on it. Because of that, well, through Tuner Studio, I should be able to upload whatever gauge cluster I like. But this is the one that comes with it, and, you know, not that bad. I would run it. Hopefully I will get some other dash on there, but that's pretty cool. So, that's the car. I can talk about it all day long. There's so many details that I didn't go into. But now, essentially, I'm going to run around and hook up some of the main grounds for this car. The cool part about this process is I've been learning how to crimp everything. My goal is to not have a single ounce of solder in this entire rig. And essentially, to get it started, all I need to do is wire it. So, let's hook up some grounds. This is the end product of that. Nice crimped, nice little sheath on there for some heat protection and some temp tape on there. So we'll smack that up from the chassis to the engine. It'll be one of two, and then I've got 2 more to go. So let's do it. All right, so at this point I got those 4 main grounding wires hooked up from the engine to the chassis, the battery to the chassis, and then one for a little distribution grounding block I have for the rest of the electronics. I'll show you those real quick. We got one here next to the alternator going to the block. On the other side of the engine, also going to the block. One inside the car going from this little distribution block I was talking about, again to the chassis. It's hitting main 1/8 inch piece here that is on the cage landing. Finally, the last one from the battery here to another 1/8 inch plate welded to the side of the frame of the car's chassis. With that, I've accomplished everything I wanted to in this video. Hopefully soon I'll come out with another video that shows the completion of the wiring process and, fingers crossed, the first start of this car, which I have waited over 5 years for. So keep an eye out for that, but until then, thank you guys.